Alright, what's up guys? It's Gavin, Extra Point. We're going to be talking about Colin Kaepernick, why he should not be on an NFL team, and why he hasn't been on an NFL team in the past year or two. So, first of all, just give your intake on like why he should not be on it, because it's kind of ridiculous.
Alright, last 21 games in the NFL, he went 3-16 and didn't play in the last two. That's 34th out of the 35 qualified quarterbacks. And for a quarterback, once he started kneeling, he went 1-10 after that in the last preseason game of the 2016 season. And after that, the 49ers ticket sales dropped 27%. That is a ton of money. Along with the fact that 17% of the ticket sales dropped around the entire league. So owners, organizations, it's not a logical money move to bring on a quarterback who will win you 7-8 games tops. He's average at best, hasn't played in 3 seasons. And it just doesn't make sense for you to bring him on and lose all that money. That's my take on this.
Exactly. And the whole reason he's kneeling, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, there's some people that say he's doing it for a good cause, but what's the cause? You know, it's disrespecting the national anthem and our country as a whole. It makes us look stupid. It makes our country look absolutely stupid.
I completely agree.
I mean, and then after he started kneeling, just all these other NFL players and NFL teams start kneeling during the national anthem as a sign of respecting their own culture. Okay, I get it that the police brutality or whatever that's going on with the black community is not good, but kneeling during the national anthem, that's going to make NFL tickets go down. It's going to make the NFL look like a completely
joke,
just not a good organization because of what is happening.
There's so many different teams doing different things. If you guys remember a few weeks into the season when the Steelers had this whole thing, they all sat in the locker room. The white offensive lineman came out into the tunnel and stood and hand over the heart. And that whole thing was so dysfunctional. And what happened to the Steelers this season? They didn't make the playoffs with that roster. That should never happen. And when you have all this dysfunction, it's so hard.
Well, in my opinion, that having to do with the Steelers making the playoffs has nothing to do with that.
All right. I can see where you're coming from.
Alejandro Villanueva, he was a United States veteran.
Yeah.
I was very disrespectful to him.
Yeah,
if I were him, I would completely.
Oh yeah, if I'm on that team, I'm going out into that tunnel and I'm putting my hand over my heart.
I don't understand why they would disrespect him. And the organization like that.
It makes no sense.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Because when he did that, his ticket sales went up to number 1 for like three weeks. All right, my bad for interrupting. You're up.
Eric Reed did the same thing with Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Kenny Stills and all those Dolphins players. Yeah. And I mean, look at those teams now. Look at them now.
And also, the players' production goes down. And the stats prove it. Y'all can go look it up. I'm not going to sit here and read you all the stats of all these players. But the team's production and the players' production goes down because they're not focused on football. They're focused on politics. Now, you can protest all you want off the field. But you're here to do a job, and you need to do that job. You were picked by this team.
I understand why Colin Kaepernick wasn't in the league for so long.
Yeah.
Because his final years in the NFL were absolutely abysmal.
Terrible.
But Eric Reed, I don't understand why he was held out of the league for kneeling. He was at one of the top.
Yeah, he was very good. I completely agree with you.
And you can see that now that he's gotten signed by the Panthers. He's been one of the league's leading tacklers and coverage guys.
Yeah, and I'm glad he got picked up.
I understand, and I mean, but it's just repetitive when he keeps bringing up all these NFL drug testing, like random. But I mean, it happens to everybody.
Yeah, it does happen to everybody.
Like the guy that came on to First Take the other day, he said that when he was in the NFL, he got tested 10 times in a year.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
It's not just you getting selectively picked.
Yeah, and the other day, the NFL put out a statement, like last week, I think it was, about showing that these are computer-generated drug tests. They don't have control over who they test. They test everybody, and he just got unlucky and got tested a little more than everybody else.
Now, Colin Kaepernick, yes, his defenses were really, really bad.
They were.
In his final 2 years, but that still doesn't give an excuse to just win 3 games.
Yeah, I mean...
When the Browns went 1-15 and then 0-16, who got most of the blame? it wasn't just Hugh Jackson. It was Robert Griffin III.
Yeah.
All the quarterbacks that stepped in for him. Cody Kessler.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that was playing for the Browns. Sean Kaiser last year. It was just.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, look at them now. They're all really bad backups. I mean, yes, Colin Kaepernick is better than a Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, I agree.
At the same time, why would you not want a Mark Sanchez who has been famous in the league before? That will bring you in more money as a program, as an organization, when you bring in someone who rejected the contract.
Yeah, he rejected the Broncos' offer. John Elway offered him a veteran's minimum for a $400,000 contract. I think it was a 1 year, and he was offered a workout, and he declined it. That's on him.
That is 100% on him.
So you see these NFL ratings go down, like, for the example, 49ers, when Colin Kaepernick started kneeling, you wonder, will he ever get picked up by another team? I don't think he will.
I don't think he will either.
And I don't think he deserves to get that shot again, because he's had too many chances. I mean, this man sat down and kneeled during the national anthem pretty much every single game about a year or two ago.
Yeah, 2016 last preseason game.
It makes no sense. This was a quarterback I used to support.
Yeah, same. I loved Colin Kaepernick.
I loved Colin Kaepernick in the 49ers team that went to the Super Bowl. I mean, he was probably one of my favorites.
I loved the 49ers that season. I was cheering for them heavily against the Ravens.
I loved him coming out of Nevada. You just couldn't hate him.
Because he was so electrifying.
Stepped in for an injured Alex Smith and brought that team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
like, there's
in his first season. That's amazing.
It was just the thing, like, why should he be picked up? Like, when have you heard of him training? Like, you see Jamarcus Russell, the biggest bust in the NFL.
Yeah.
You still see him training to this day. You still see videos of him putting in work. Even though he was really bad in the league, he still is trying to get picked up. Yeah. Colin Kaepernick, I've never seen any of that. I just see him making Nike ads and suing the NFL. That's all he's doing.
All he's doing.
He's probably sitting on his couch just trying to look up ways to sue it and screw over the NFL. Like, he does nothing but want to hate against the NFL. He doesn't want to get back in the NFL. He just uses that as an excuse for him not being in the league to make other people hate the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, when LeBron James is calling the NFL slavery because of this movement.
I mean, if slavery is getting paid millions of dollars, where do I sign up?
This is a job. You show up to this job. If you don't show up, you deserve all the rights to be kicked off the team.
Yeah.
Or just...
Keep in mind, this man signs a contract stating all of this, but I mean, he just
if you work at a grocery store, let's just use that for an example, and your shift is a 9 to 5 shift, and you show up at 11 every single day, or don't show up at all,
and then leave at 3.
Yeah, or slack off during it. Why should you have a job over somebody else?
Why should you still have that?
Why should Antonio Brown not receive hate for basically walking off from his team when his team needed him the most in the playoffs to make the playoffs? Even though they didn't make the playoffs despite winning, they still had a rough game against the Bengals, who are one of the worst defenses in the league. Actually, they are the worst defense in the league. So,
I mean, I don't know if this is just like a stunt to get attention from everybody, but it's truly hurting the players, especially in the most recent case, Antonio Brown. This man literally threw a ball at his quarterback in practice.
Because he ran the wrong route. Because Ben Roethlisberger was trying to teach him.
And hold him accountable.
So he retaliates by throwing the ball. Yep. But yet people are still blaming Ben Roethlisberger for all this. For Le'Veon Bell leaving, Ben Roethlisberger is getting here.
Yeah, and about the whole kneeling thing, a poll came out in 2016. 2016 was the year that Kaepernick started kneeling, the last preseason game, as we stated. And a poll came out in 2016 that said 32% of adults were less likely to watch the NFL. So when you're taking money, you're causing your team a distraction, and you're an average quarterback who hasn't played in 2.5 seasons, and you're not putting out videos, putting in work, you're declining offers that you got last year, why should I as an owner pick you up? That just does not make sense.
Makes no sense.
Your career completion's 59%. That's terrible.
And I'm going to step in right there. In 2016, in his second game of the year against the Rams, who were really bad at this time. This was when they had Jeff Fisher as a coach. He had a QBR of 4.
That's terrible. A 4 QBR.
And I'm going to get back to the NFL being racist part. You see, when owners talk about how they pay the checks, and they have all the right, because they own this team, and they talk about how they pay the checks, so you do what they want.
Yeah. That's not slavery.
That is America.
That is a job.
That is a job.
You have the complete right to quit that job if you want.
When NFL players and NBA players are ganging up on all these owners, I mean, it's not going to do anything. It's just causing negative attention to yourself. I mean, when you have Odell Beckham getting paid $220 million a year and getting, like he's having hookers take videos of him snorting cocaine and eating pizza. And
like you can do that, but don't take a video of it. How stupid you gotta be. You're getting paid $220 million.
And you walk into the locker room and say, my knees hurt.
Yeah. And then you
quit
don't
on your team the final 4 games of the year. Despite, who cares that you have a negative record? You go out and play every game. You're getting paid that money.
And you saw the Cleveland Browns. I understand the Cleveland Browns have been dysfunctional. They have not been a good team. They kind of revived themselves a little bit this year with Baker Mayfield and everything. But you saw them come out and try their asses off every single game.
I mean, we're talking about the team that has been a joke in the NFL for the past 3 or 4 years.
Not even.
My whole life.
Yeah, that's basically, And they go out and grind, trying to get a playoff seed,
trying to get a win.
I mean, like it doesn't make any sense. And then we go back to the Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem. Why? Okay, he is kneeling during the national anthem when those soldiers and veterans and all those people that fought in our country, he is the only reason he is in this country playing the football.
Yes.
If they were not fighting, if it was not for our veterans, we would not be playing football.
We would not be a free country. Right?
And to say the least, if I'm a U.S. veteran and I'm a ticket holder for the 49ers,
oh my,
why should I go to this game?
Definitely not.
If I'm paying all that money for these seats, and I'm seeing that.
It's like I fought in a war to keep you safe and to keep you free. So and now I'm going to pay tickets to see you play.
You're going to be disrespected like that.
That's terrible. One of the worst things you can do, in my opinion. Period, point blank.
Also getting paid in the NFL, big contract to disrespect our country like that and just not even give an effort.
Yeah.
Like,
a practice squad member, his average salary is $330,000.
He works his butt off. To
try to even make the roster.
Yeah. So when you're seeing a starting quarterback in the NFL slack off, disrespect your country,
you want to pick him up? And people argue that he deserves another chance in this league and that he can prove it to himself.
And they also try and say that Colin Kaepernick isn't disrespecting the veterans. They say he's not disrespecting the country. He's doing it for a cause.
What cause?
What cause is it?
I'm looking around.
But the thing is, how is he not disrespecting veterans? How is he not?
Yeah, I agree.
How is he not disrespecting the country? You're sitting during the national anthem. I could never even imagine someone doing that in high school.
And if I'm on an NFL team, like as we said with the Steelers, when that the offensive lineman came out with his hand over his heart in the tunnel. If I'm on that team, there's no way. I don't care if I get benched. I am standing for that national anthem.
I'm respecting him. 100%.
Yes. Completely.
It's
just completely. I just don't understand the situation.
Yeah.
And people will still argue, no matter how many facts you hit them with, that it's just a complete disrespect.
Yeah.
And it just makes the NFL look bad as a whole. And then the ratings have dropped in the NFL. And you also have a bunch of these kids in high school, middle school, watching the NFL, and they're seeing this.
That is a terrible example.
They take it back to school and try to do it. It makes no sense. It's a complete slap in the face.
Yes, when you're in the NFL, when you're in the NBA, any college sport even, you are setting an example to all the little kids out in the country watching you, looking up to you. And now you're doing this. You're teaching them what to do, and this is completely not the right thing to do. And everything points at it not being right. I don't care, I just don't understand. His career quarterback rating, 52. 28-30 throughout his career. He had a chance to win the Super Bowl. He choked on that last possession. Everything points to him. There's just not a point in signing him to lose all that money.
People try and claim that Nathan Peterman shouldn't be in there. He's on a practice squad. That is not even an example.
Yeah.
If Colin Kaepernick's on a practice squad,
everybody's having a freak out section.
It's a freak out. It's just ridiculous that the NFL is called racist because there's a handful of black quarterbacks and a handful of black coaches because they don't get the job done.
68% of the NFL. Sorry for interrupting. 68% of the NFL is African American.
Have you seen a white corner?
I don't think I've seen a white corner. I've seen like Harrison Smith.
I guess we should make a movement for that, because if we get retaliated upon, it's racist towards us.
I agree. Once teams got film on him after that first little playoff run, his stats were terrible. Terrible.
The same thing will happen to Lamar Jackson.
Same thing will happen to Lamar Jackson. We're going to get into that on another topic.
The same thing's already happening to
the same thing is
to Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
You saw Deshaun Watson against the Colts?
Yeah.
He was locked down. And
you saw what Patrick Mahomes did against the Colts. So
and yet you see Deshaun Watson after every first down 24-0, get up.
Yeah, same thing with Cam Newton. We're going to be talking about Cam Newton, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson. We're going to talk about all these quarterbacks and just everything about them. So make sure to tune in next time. This is The Extra Point. I'm Ben. This is Gavin. This is Jaden. Y'all have a great night.
That was my